Much like the Divine Beast, the bosses found in Breath of the Wild left much to be desired. They were uninspired, identical in design, and rather easy to outmaneuver by using the runes in the Sheikah Slate. With that being said, what should be done to bring the bosses to the next level after Breath of the Wild?
Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of After Breath of the Wild, the show where we take a look at the most ambitious Zelda game, find the wrinkles in an otherwise smooth masterpiece, and iron them out so that the next Zelda game will be without some major flaws. And in order to give us a proper take after we did the dungeons last time, or lack thereof dungeons, we decided this time to bring over our good British friend Ed, also known as Zeltik, to join us on what will be a bumpy ride, so buckle up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start your engines, as we go over the strengths and flaws of the bosses inside Breath of the Wild. We promise you, we will end with the best, so make sure to drop that like and stay until the end.
In many ways, this will be a journey of the good, the bad, the ugly, and the magnificent. So let's start with the good, namely the mini-bosses placed outside of the Divine Beasts. Mini-bosses in the Zelda series have a long and rich history stretching from recycled boss fights all the way to brilliant encounters such as Ocarina of Time's Dark Link, Majora's Mask's Egos du Ikana, Wind Waker's Phantom Ganon, Twilight Princess's Dark Nut, and Skyward Sword's Skirvo. What all of these have in common though is that they're found within dungeons or mini-dungeons. Mini-bosses in Breath of the Wild, however, beyond the Guardian Scouts, are found in the overworld, more specifically the eponymous Wild. Perhaps this was intended by the development team. This move definitely didn't benefit the Divine Beasts, but definitely did benefit the open world design of the game. Yeah, there might not be the greatest variety of mini-bosses, which you'll see as a recurring theme throughout the episode.
First out, we have the most basic mini-boss, the Stone Taluses. Hidden across Hyrule among boulders and f***ing rocks, these giant sentient stones really pack a punch and deal massive damage if you don't pay attention. Despite being slow, the different types of Stone Taluses are persistent and would chase Link over some distance to defend themselves. And this is a point we need to bring up: the genius and organic nature of the mini-bosses in Breath of the Wild. Since when it comes to the mini-bosses, usually you are the intruder to their habitat, and they make sure to either take you down or just push you away. In the case of the taluses that you can climb, it is rather clear that they just want you away from the habitat in the mud, rock, ice or lava. These are definitely opponents that we would like to see back in future Zelda titles.
Hinoxes, on the other hand, though found in different strength, see you as a tasty treat. Of course, they find you tasty after you wake up these heavy sleepers by making too much noise or planting an arrow or two in their eye. Similarly to the taluses, they are one with nature, meaning that they use it to the best of their abilities, like throwing trees, boulders, and more. As for their dead cousins, the Stalnoxes, they throw their ribs, but otherwise behave like the Hinoxes. With that said, the eye is still by far the most important target, and this mini-boss is tons of fun. Same thing can be said about the Moldugas found in Gerudo Desert. We guess it has to do with how you literally hunt down these mini-bosses using remote bombs or bomb arrows while seal surfing. The high-paced battle style of this monster makes it really satisfying to fight, and you get additional treasure chests on top of that by defeating it.
But it would be a fatal flaw to forget about the Lynels in this context, and though they are amazing enemies, they're not counted as official mini-bosses since they lack a life meter. And that's too bad, as the Lynels would have offered even more variety. But when we look at it closer, these bodybuilder champions are better than any of the other overworld fights found in the game.
The greatest weakness of the mini-bosses is that there could have been a greater variety beyond the different Taluses, Hinoxen, Stalnoxen and Moldugas. Still, we appreciate what we got and love the way you can approach these battles in many different ways. But as we said, for the next title, enemy variety and thus mini-boss variety is key. Breath of the Wild lacked it, and the next game cannot. Now we're at the key issue of boss variety. with the Blight Ganons. Oh my god, just why, Nintendo? Who thought it was a good idea to replace amazing dungeon boss fights with pretty much the same fight 4 times over?
Now before we rip the Blight Ganons to shreds, let's go over the one good Blight Ganon fight, Thunder Blight Ganon, which can be summed up with the following song and this meme.
I'm fast as boy.
The fight against Thunder Blight Ganon is filled with tension, 2 great stages, and high difficulty, making it one of the best fights in the game. And the rematch in DLC Pack 2, The Champion's Ballad, set us under even more disadvantageous conditions. For the technical aspect, the battle against Thunder Blight is amazing, but the design of the Blights, it would be better that they don't come back again. They ruined the beautiful Zelda tradition of boss fights being something we truly look forward to, but also fear to face as we have no idea what is waiting behind that big boss door. And you know what? This is exactly what ruined some of the Zelda magic for us in Breath of the Wild, since after clearing 2 of the Divine Beasts, you knew that upon activating the main terminal, you would face another Blight Ganon that is weak to bomb arrows or one of the Sheikah runes that you obtained from the shrines of the Great Plateau.
Luckily, after this one game-specific opponent, it is unlikely that the next game will follow the same path. And we hope, truly hope, that unique and colorful bosses will return in the next Zelda game. This is a must, because Zelda is a too precious franchise for visually identical Blight Ganons and the culmination of them all, Calamity Ganon. The first phase of the final boss fight is a mixed bag. Yes, Calamity Ganon is a monster containing parts of Ganondorf, Malice, and Guardian parts, and the first impression is frightening, but not as much as it could have been if we didn't fight him 4 times already. As for technicality, the first phase of this fight is actually among the best in the series. Too bad the second portion is a complete joke, and probably the most ugly thing about this game. Dark Beast Ganon's appearance is spot on, but oh my god, the fight is the by far worst final boss in the series, because nothing is happening! Ganon is just standing there rotating like a broken tank with one very slow turret and target practice weak points. No, no, no. You know what? This is not okay. For the next game, Nintendo has a big job to make sure that there is a proper balance between visual variety and technicality, as the mini-boss encounter against Master Koga and Dark Beast Ganon, though visually pleasing, were embarrassing for the Zelda series. Luckily, after multiple missteps, it seems that the Zelda team really wanted to prove us wrong by delivering one of the best opponents we have ever faced in a Zelda game through its final DLC pack, The Champion's Ballad.
The final trial is easily one of the better Divine Beasts or machines in the game, and the final showdown against Monk Maz Koshia is by far the best fight found in Breath of the Wild. The way he greets Link and then stands up to reveal himself as the final boss of the last paid DLC pack is priceless. And the way he then teleports us to an ancient Final Destination like Sheikah platform in the sky. Monk Maz Koshia serves as the final test from the ancient Sheikah monks set before Link in Breath of the Wild. And wow, did the Zelda team really put quality into this fight. It goes without saying that compared to this Sheikah monk, scratch that, master, Calamity Ganon is a massive joke, because this is by far the most difficult boss fight in the game. We're talking multiple phases done the way they're meant to be done, that truly tests Link's fighting abilities. The most satisfying aspect about this fight has to be the complete package. The variety in Monk Maz Koshia's fighting styles, including turning into a huge version of himself or sending out clones, and then the truly noble aftermath where the beaten master congratulates the hero of Hyrule and presents him with the Sheikah's ultimate technological wonder, the Master Cycle Zero. This fight is what every Zelda boss should strive for, as it has a perfect balance of visual awe and technical complexity.
It's such a shame that the best boss in the game is hidden behind a $20 expansion pass paywall, while the base game on $60 has some somewhat forgettable bosses. So where do we head from here? There's no secret that the bosses after Breath of the Wild are in dire need of a major revamp from a visual standpoint, since with the exception of Monk Maz Koshia, in Breath of the Wild we fought 6 different forms of Ganon's malice and hatred, and it got old really quickly. In other words, in the next Zelda game we first and foremost need way more variety when it comes to the appearance and tactics of the bosses.
such as more unique boss encounters like Maz Koshia and less forms of the same beast Ganon. So perhaps the next Zelda game should let go of Ganon's past and introduce some new and creative boss fights that differ in proportions from, say, human-scale bosses like Maz Koshia and Girahim to absolute titans like the ones found in Shadow of the Colossus. The pool of possibilities is nearly endless, but with a solid variety of unique and, more importantly, mind-blowing bosses, then the next Zelda game is likely to dominate over Breath of the Wild. On that note, we have to inform you that After Breath of the Wild is in great danger, and we need your help to keep the series alive. But in order to succeed in this rescue operation, you're going to want to go to patreon.com/commonrealm and pledge to one of our tiers in exchange for some awesome rewards. But on a more serious note, voiceover Pete, you are great. January is a tough month for us YouTubers, and with declining ad revenue and people deciding to not continue their Patreon pledges, we need Zelda fans like you to replace them and keep less profitable series like After Breath of the Wild and other passion projects alive. Now, since you sat through this harsh reality update, we want to share the following choices for a possible next episode of After Breath of the Wild. General predictions, or a dedicated episode on settlements and pacing in the next Zelda game? Leave your answer in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to like this video, and if you are new to the Commonwealth Realm and Zeltik, then make sure to subscribe to our channels and press that shiny notification bell. And like we said before, we'd like to thank all of our patrons, including royal producer Kenyatta Ali over at patreon.com/commonrealm. If you'd like to help us out and keep our other series alive in exchange for some awesome perks, then be sure to check out our Patreon page for more information. That's all for now, girls and guys, so we will see you in the next episode.